going on, YouTube? Welcome to episode 65 of Let's Build the U.S.S. Voyager tutorial. I'm Zero Elite, and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. And if you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. Today we've got about a 20-minute episode. We're going to be picking up right where we left off in the last episode, getting some work done on our shuttle bay housing area. We're also going to be getting some detail done on that, as well as some loose ends on the interior, and then I believe we're going to pop back into the primary shuttle bay. So without further ado, let's go ahead, kick back, relax, we're going to dive right into this thing. Now, I'm just cleaning up from the last episode. I have to do in my last row of blocks. Now, you're noticing the corners here, we've got those, the white quartz, that's going to stick out for now. And I messed up here and here. Got to fix that. But that's something that we're going to address. If we don't do it in Season 1, we'll come back to that in Season 2. But I want to cover that up, or at least kind of reshape that area so that it's all consistent. So, all right. Now that we've got everything in place, we can start to add in some of our detailing. Now, originally when I was recording the last couple of episodes, I said that we weren't going to be doing any detailing down here, but you have to remember, it's been a minute since I built out this whole thing, because at this point now, we've been working on Voyager for about a year now, with taking breaks and everything. But we are going to be getting a little bit of detail in this area. Now, my goal right now, I really want to finish up Voyager so that this way we can jump into the Excelsior 2 class, and then hopefully if everything lines up right, I'll be able to go right into the Enterprise A 2.0 if we hit 1,000 subscribers by that point. If we don't, I'll have another build come up in its place. But that's something I'm going to be saving that Enterprise A tutorial for. And then we've also got the Enterprise D Season 2 that's going to be coming up. That's a little bit further down the line. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just building off of the pillars that we originally had. And I'm doing half slabs going straight down because I'm trying to kind of come up with maybe like a framing for the ceiling to give it just the impression, a little bit of structure, but also we're going off of our design cues. Remember how we built our lighting area for the primary shuttle bay. This is why I say try to pay attention to your design cues, because especially in an area like this, we're continuing on our shuttle bay. So it makes sense that the design for the lighting more or less is not going to change too much. And when you have those design cues transitioning from room to room where it makes sense, these are the things that's going to make your ship pop even more, is that cohesion. So you don't have to do it in the same exact pattern. You can be more creative if that's what you want. And that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to kind of maybe do it slightly differently, but the idea of it is exactly the same, and hopefully it'll flow really nicely. All right, that's looking pretty good, except for that one block right up there in the corner. We've got to change the direction on it so that they're all going in the same pattern. But that's not looking too bad. It's not looking too bad at all. I think just for consistency, we're going to continue our half slabs going all the way around the perimeter of our turbo lift here. I'm actually fairly certain when we come back to the interior in the end of this episode, we're going to be working on our automatic corridors. That is going to be on Voyager. And I'm also going to try to make a point to have that on the Enterprise D for Season 2. Now, you guys are not going to see me build out these corridors every single one that we do. And that's going to be primarily to repeat just putting out the same content over and over again. Those of you that are not familiar with building your automatic doors, I've got a tutorial just for that on my channel. It's under my beginners section. So if you go on my YouTube and go under all my videos, the playlists, you'll see that on there. And you can watch that to get you a little bit more familiar with it, but we're also going to be building it out live in this episode. But that's a really nice touch that I like to try to add on, if not all my ships, that have those swooshing doors, because it's just so Star Trek, you know? It really makes a difference. Alright, so now we're going to be shifting gears just a little bit. We're going to be getting some detailing done on the exterior of our shuttle bay. And as you can see, I'm not doing anything super fancy here. I'm literally just swapping out the outline here for a different color, because I'm trying to make this build line pop just a little bit more. I might need to swipe that out for the gray concrete. That might work a little bit better, but if I'm not mistaken, I think why I made the decision to use this color is because of the half slabs. Mojang, Microsoft, if you're listening, I don't want a mod to use this because not everyone in the community likes using mods, but if you could please add a full spectrum color of half slabs as well as lighting blocks, that would be absolutely phenomenal. Just those two things. I don't understand why in 2024 this is something that I'm still talking about. And I'm not trying to give the developers crap, but I feel like this is something that people have been asking for such a long time. We've got 1,000,001 texture packs and things that make the company tons of money. And to be honest with you, if you made it even as a paid DLC, I would probably buy it. I'm just saying, because this is something that would make my builds come out even better. But I don't want to go down the route of using mods, like I said, because some people don't use mods. And I'm really trying to build these ships out in a way that anybody could do it, you know? Or at least that's the thought process behind it. Alright, we're not looking too bad here. I don't know though. The shuttle bay entry point on Voyager is something I was never 110% satisfied with. I think with the remainder of the episodes, this is something that we might come back to one or two more times. But we are reaching the end. I meant to mention it earlier in this episode, but I kind of got sidetracked. But we've only got so many episodes left of Voyager. There's about 8 or 9 weeks left of content, and I really want to make a point to get all those episodes out. So if I can continue doing this consistently every week, then the last set of episodes for Voyager will be coming out on the first week of December. And then after that, we'll be going in the Excelsior 2 class. I don't know if I'll be taking a short break or not. There is a possibility, because I'll be in the month of December. Might be real crazy at that point, so there is a chance I might hold off until January before putting the Excelsior out. But I don't know. We'll kind of play that by ear, and as we get closer to the end of Voyager, I'll have more of a set date for you guys. So I'll make sure to bring that up. And if you're also on the Discord, I'll have that on my Discord as well. Alright, so now that we kind of adjusted that pattern right there, I feel like that looks a little bit better, flows a little bit better. It's not sticking out as much as it was before. But I want to clean up some of my line work right here, make sure all my patterns or cut lines are matching up. For the most part, it doesn't look bad. This is what you can do when you're motivated and inclined to do it. If you're willing to make mistakes and just not give up and just keep working at it and working at it and working at it, this is what you end up with. And I'll be the first one to admit my Voyager is not perfect. I feel like I'm about 90 to 92% there. My Voyager is a little bit sleeker than the actual Voyager, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. be honest with you, I haven't even had anybody critique it in that regard. So I don't think anybody's too broken up about it. I think when you look at it, it's Voyager, and that's what matters the most. Yeah, you know, there's some little things here and there I wish I could have done differently, but I think everybody would probably agree with that with their own builds. Um, we're all our own biggest critics, and there's always going to be things that I'm going to point out that I feel like I could have done better here or could have done better there. Um, Even like with the Enterprise D, I'm not still I'm not fully satisfied with the very front of the neck, as well as the shape um, of the housing for the deflector dish. I don't feel like I nailed it as close as I should have. I could have done a little bit better on that, and it was not for lack of effort. I did really give it my all. It just isn't coming out the way exactly that I envisioned in my mind. So that's going to be something that I'll continue to work on. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things, you know, you make mistakes, you try to figure out ways to fix them, but sometimes those solutions don't always present themselves. This is one of the reasons I take breaks in Minecraft. It's so vital, just to take breaks here and there, because you can get bored building, and for me anyway, I like to build when I'm the most passionate. I feel that's when my builds come out the best. So I try to make a point that if I'm getting burnt out, the first thing I do is, you know what, let's take a break and recharge those batteries so I can get that passion back. So I think we're going to make a slight adjustment here to our turbo, or excuse me, our corridor. We're going to bring it down just by 1. Because right now, I think we're going to be getting ready to build out our automatic doorway. And I want to make sure that we have the room to do it. I already have the white concrete. I probably didn't realize it though. And see, and this is what we want. We want that 1 row gap in between each of those walls. So in between our corridor and then in between our shuttle bay. Because that's going to be the housing for the mechanics for our automatic doors. And then we also are going to need some space underneath it as well. There might be an easier way to build out these doors. I'll be the first one to admit I'm not an expert when it comes to all the features within Minecraft. So there could very well be at this point a better way of doing these doors. If this is something that you feel and you know a solution for it, I'd actually be interested in hearing what that is. But I mean, for what it is, I'm not I don't mind it. The hardest part about this, honestly, is the space underneath. If I could figure out a workaround for that, it would make this a little bit easier. But it's not necessarily something that's a super big deal at this point. All right. So we've got our pistons in place. We've got our redstone in place. So that's almost done. So now we're going to have to start building out where the under redstone is going to connect, and so that this way when we walk across our pressure plates, we'll be able to have the doors automatically open. Okay, looking good. Clear that out a little bit just so I can see a little bit more here. I need, here we go. I need my redstone torch. We're going to be placing it right there, and on the other side too. Now we might be impeding a little bit on our cargo area or the housing area for our shuttlecraft. That's okay. We can fix that. Right now I just want to get this stuff in place and then we can worry about that. Yeah, so all we really need right there is a 3x3. You want to make sure you have a 1 block gap in between the two. Okay. Now we need some pressure plates after we fill all this in. Yeah, there might totally be a new way of doing these doors, but this is just kind of what I've found is the best way to go about it. Now, where I made the mistake right there is I have to delete those 2 blocks and I have to make the redstone go over by 1. That's why it's stopping it from opening. There we go. Now we're cooking. So now we have our swooshing automatic doors. So that this way when you come into your shuttle bay, that's just going to be one of many things that's going to make this build pop. And I'm kind of surprised too, because when I see other people's builds, I don't really see anybody doing this. And I don't know why. Because it's like, why would you not want to have your automatic doors on a starship in Star Trek? I think we need to bring that over by 1 more. Because if I do the wall right here, that might not be enough. Yeah, so I need to bring that over by 1. There we go. Now that's what we need here. This way the wall is not right up on the automatic door. That's what we need right there. Oh, except I did the wrong darn color. There we go. Now we're just going to fill this in. And just like that, you've got yourself your very first automatic doorway on Voyager. Now I'm not going to lie, I don't add these for every single door, because there's just going to be situations where you're at in the ship where you're not going to have the room to do it. You know, that's just what it's going to come down to. Either you don't have the room in between the walls, or you don't have the room underneath you. So I try to have key areas that I do have them in. And I think one of the most important things is when you first come into the ship, have that pop moment. So that's something I always try to do. And then in some other areas where I obviously would want to have it. But yeah, you're not going to have it work everywhere. But I'm curious to see if there's anywhere that people are building these doorways differently within that design, where you have the double doors that are opening like that. Now bear in mind, I have mine as a 3 wide instead of 2, Just because my walls are 3 wide and I'm just trying to stay consistent. I could bring the doorways down to 2 if I really, really wanted to, but that's just something that I started doing almost going back to the very beginning, probably when I started building on Minecraft. When I first got the automatic doorways, I always had them 3 wide, and I never really got around to switching them to 2. Maybe it's something I could do in the future. I don't know. I guess if it's not broke, don't fix it. So now we're just cleaning up the rest of this area to make sure everything flows. Well, we're looking pretty good, I think. Looking real good. Yeah, it's just like the icing on the cake for me. It makes such a big difference. It's something so little, but this is what I mean, that you start adding in these little details. That one detail by itself, it's not going to do a lot, but when you start combining them all together is when things really start coming, really things start cooking. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for me today. We shot through today's episode. If you did enjoy this content, help me out. Hit that like and subscribe button, helping me in supporting the channel. Any builds that you guys want to see, any feedback you have regarding this episode, or you're just dropping by to say hey, definitely love hearing from everybody. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. I just want to thank you again for tuning in today's episode. I hope everybody has a happy and safe week. And of course, what did you make in Minecraft today? Post your photos in the Discord.